Hi guys, we're back with another video. Today where I'm going to teach you how to paint with a palette knife. So this is called the palette knife technique. I'm not really sure, but that's what I like to call it. A client asked me to recreate one of my previous paintings called Escape, and it purely uses knife for the whole painting. So let's just go ahead and start. I'm going to introduce the colors that I'm going to be using for this one. So of course this is more of a pastel type of painting, so I'm going to use a lot of titanium white. Again, Montemart is my go-to brand. It's up to you. What brand would you like to use? Next color is going to be the cobalt blue. I think I'm going to also use a little bit of phthalo blue. I'm not sure how to read it. This type of blue, just to give it more variety with the colors. And then I'm also going to use ultramarine blue. And then for the yellow shades, I'm going with Naples yellow. Then I'm going to also use orange, but I'm going to mix this with a lot of white just to like tone down the intensity of the color. And last but not the least is the rose madder. Again, I'm going to turn this into a pastel color because my escape painting is really light, really airy, and really pastel. So basically these are all the colors, and plus of course for the boats is going to be raw umber for the brown, and that's basically it. So I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial for my palette knife technique. So what you're gonna do with this palette knife technique, you're gonna want to test the knife first if it's suitable for the strokes you're gonna want to use with the canvas, and also if it's proportionate to the size of the canvas. So mine looks good. And the next we're gonna do is start with the background. So I think um for the escape painting is going to be cobalt blue with a little bit of white, I think. So I made sure that the palette knife I have is really appropriate for the textures I want to achieve. You can skip this step, but you know, it doesn't hurt to check. Then I'm just gonna take a huge brush, then just start stroking on my canvas. After cobalt blue, we're gonna do Naples yellow. So after coating the canvas with our background, we're going to do the edges. You can opt to skip this step again, but you know, this is just really my preference so that the painting is done to my liking. But you know, you're still the artist, you still have the freedom to choose whether or not you're going to paint the edges. So just do this around the painting until you're done. So we're gonna start with our palette knife painting. So you take your palette knife, this one. You can choose a different size, something that suits your preference. But for me, this is fine. This is like one of the most basic sizes for a palette knife. So what you're gonna do is take a little bit of the paint, not too much, and then just swipe it across your canvas. So it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be, refined. The key to palette knife painting is that you play with the textures as much as possible, and you have the decision to, what comes with your palette knife painting. So for Escape, or the recreation of Escape, I really wanted it to be airy and flowy and just free, fresh. And I really love that the client asked me to recreate this, because honestly, this is one of my most favorite paintings that I've made in the past. And I knew that the client really browsed through my Instagram feed, because this painting was like a year ago or something. It was one of my earliest paintings, and that was the time when I was most anxious about putting my art out in public. It was really a scary time for me, but I'm really happy that I did, because a lot of people reach out to me and saying that my painting videos, they use it to fall asleep for their anxiety, or they really connected with what I wrote along with the painting. So yeah, it has been a lot ever since my early days, and Halcyon Art has been through a lot, and I'm really proud of what we've done. Yeah, so I'm just gonna continue making art, just reach more people, more art lovers out there. And of course, if you want to request a painting from me, I'd be really happy to do it. Just for, I think I was fully booked last 2021. I'm not sure when this video is gonna go out, but yeah, I was fully booked last 2021, and I hope to repeat that this year. So to continue, I'm just gonna move to the next color, which is Naples Yellow. So just continue doing this technique, creating more textures, creating more strokes with your palette knife. It doesn't really matter if it's not perfect. The more imperfect it is, the more it's more beautiful for me, because I know you expressed your freedom and emotions when you were making that painting. So if you'll notice, I moved on from smaller strokes to slightly larger strokes over here in the middle, just to give the painting more perspective, more character. But it's really up to you on how you want to do it. Palette knife painting is really fun, and I'm really glad I was able to discover this technique at an early stage of my creative career. So right now we're at the ocean part of our painting, and then I'm going to use the darker cobalt blue for this one, just a touch, and some of the lighter as well. I'm just gonna create a white line just to separate the ocean from the sky, in an abstract way. Okay, so for the next part, we're gonna do the boats. So the boats are pretty basic. I'm just going to use a palette knife for them, maybe a brush for the body. But this is basically what my palette knife technique is about, you know, just creating textures, waves, you know, in an abstract way. And I hope you learned something today for our video. We're gonna move on to our boats. Okay, so I wasn't able to video the last part where I made the boats. I thought I was recording, but I wanted to show you how I achieved this. I only used palette knives for this. For the straight lines, I used the edge of the palette knife, dipped it in the raw umber color, and then just pressed it on the canvas to make this abstract straight lines. Then for the body, I also used the knife as well. I mixed in raw umber and put in some Naples yellow and the color cream here, if you can see. And then same for the sail of this one boat. And then here is the final product of my recreation of my previous painting called Escape. I hope you learned a lot from this tutorial about palette knife painting, and I really enjoyed it. So if you have any more questions, or if you'd like to request a painting, please let me know. And yeah, I'll see you on my next video. Thank you guys. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel as well. Follow me on all my social media accounts, on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thank you. Bye.